So I don't really know much about the details of what people I know had to go through during the war, but I know the general basics of it. My aunt was like in middle school at the time, and when she went to school, she had to kick dead bodies out of her way because there's so many on the streets due to bombings and mass murders and stuff. My other aunt, when she was escaping on a boat, it was just her and 2 other people floating down the river, and as they were floating down, suddenly like the 2 other people on her boat got shot down by the Viet Cong, and she just laid there pretending she was dead so that they wouldn't kill her too. So my dad had to run away at night when he was about 20. I think they were trying to make him join the communist army or whatever. So as he was running away, his cousins basically attacked him because they thought he was police. And well, after they settled that, they all escaped together on a boat. They're out in sea for over 2 weeks, maybe 3, not sure, until they stumbled upon Hong Kong, where my dad stayed for a year. He was lucky enough to get sponsored to move to America.
Okay, so my uncle, he was a 19-year-old engineering student around the time it happened. On the morning of the 30th, he heard on the radio that the South Vietnamese army has surrendered and that Saigon has fallen. While he and his family were not affected by this day, communist rule made living in Vietnam much more difficult. He told me that he was put in jail for having cassettes of American music in his home, and because of his family's ties to the old government, his father's retirement income was cut off. A few years later, my uncle escaped Vietnam by boat with my aunt and cousin. They stayed in a refugee camp in Thailand for about a year before being approved to the United States.
My family came over to America about 6 years ago, but before that, it started with my aunt migrating over to America right after the war with her sister. My grandfather served in the war for the South Vietnam Army, and they came from a really poor village called An Bang, and he enlisted in the army in order to get the food on the family table. My aunt came over to America through boat, and it was really hard for them. They came across pirates. A lot of people on their boats were dying, and they had to go through a lot of refugee camp across the world, in Taiwan, Japan, China, Philippines, all that.
The fall of Saigon will remain to be one of the most influential days in Vietnamese history, and it's a day that represents a whole ton of pain and hardships. But the one thing that people may overlook is that every single one of these people have their own story to tell, and you just have to sit down and listen to it.